I'm telling you, I can absolutely tell you that I'm in Vancouver, Canada. And I was talking to Andrew a little bit earlier, or mentioning that it's absolutely, obviously you guys are just having Brisbane weather, and we're having Vancouver weather in the month of March. So I'm sitting here in the rain while you guys are sitting in the sunshine. So I wish I was sitting there with you guys for sure. So hope all is going well. I've also I have also had the pleasure of watching about probably 100 hours of Andrew and Daryl on TV through my own education. So no doubt you guys are presently sitting there with in between the ears is absolutely full and about to overflow. So I hope it's been absolutely, I hope it's been a great time for you guys. You've learned tons because, again, the guys have taught me an unbelievable amount. And when Andrew mentioned that he wanted me to come on and sort of share a bit of a success story, like I said, I didn't hesitate. I don't, if it's midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning, wouldn't have mattered because it's absolute pleasure. And I do very sincerely want to thank Andrew and Daryl for pointing me in the right direction, providing me some excellent guidance. And I will tell you firsthand that, again, I've been through the journey that I'm guessing you guys are either undertaking or about to undertake, and that's trying to make some, a real income online and do pretty well. And some of the advice that you'll get out there is less than desirable. And I can honestly say that all of the advice I got from Andrew and Daryl has not only been good, but it's been sensational. So I hope you guys are soaking it all in and really enjoying your time there. So on that note, he asked me to give a little bit of a story, and he used the word inspiring as the word that he was hoping that I would, that he used for the story that he wanted me to tell. And as much as I'd love to tell an inspiring story, I don't know that it's going to inspire anybody, but I can tell you that it's very raw and real, and this is sort of what my journey looked like. And that was that, I sort of get into it. It was, some years ago. It's about 2000, in fact, it was 2008. I had a consulting company going at the time. Things were going pretty well. I've got some experience in that space, so it's going well. But 2008, I'm sure you guys know in Australia, the recession set in. It hit you guys a little bit. It hit North America a lot harder than it did there. And I had a pretty good company going, and things were going really well. All of a sudden, the recession set in, and it felt like the recession set in my company. It didn't set in North America. It set in Karl, Bryan's the back seat of my car. So it was a rather less than desirable experience, but it was what it was. It was a learning experience. I had just about a week before George Bush literally went on TV and did like this presidential address to say that the economy was about to capitulate, and he was very concerned about a whole number of different things that were going on, some companies that were going sideways. I had just committed to a $500,000 deal, no joke. So I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Like, you couldn't have got a worse bit of timing. You couldn't have got a worse scenario. I had just bought a brand new house. So again, at the time, I had the banks fooled, at least, right? I thought I was doing pretty well. And, they agreed to sell me this really cool house, and I bought this really cool car, and boom. So to cut a long story short, what I'm trying to get at there is things went sideways big time. I went through a little bit of a rough year. I was asking myself some questions. To be quite frank, I think I sort of lied myself in a padded room is what it felt like, and didn't leave for for not a short period of time, but an extended period of time, until I literally got to the point where my mortgage is $3,500 a month, and then I had a $100,000 line of credit. So I had $97,000 on my of credit. So basically, I couldn't make it one more month of my mortgage payment hitting this sucker, and it was going to be all over Red Rover. So I was sitting there going, oh my, like it was reasonably ugly. It was at that stage that I got onto, I'm sure you guys probably heard of Mal Emery. I got onto Mal Emery, and I spoke to him for a little bit, asked him for, a little bit of advice, a little bit of direction. He wanted me to fly over to Australia to do this presentation that he had coming up. There was no way that I was going to be able to do that. And then he put me in touch with Paul Godin. Who, and again, you guys might know through your association with Andrew and Daryl, Paul, but he does some video work. So I couldn't afford to get over there to go to Australia, which of course I couldn't admit that to Mal Emery, and it was, reasonably embarrassing at the time. But I got on to Paul. He sent me some videos, and lo and behold, I was sitting there watching these videos, and, much of which was about generating income on the internet, and that this could really, this was something that was possible. And then boom, Andrew and Daryl come up. And I remember thinking, and I don't know, Andrew's going to take this, but I remember watching him on the presentation, and I thought, this guy's suit's too big, man. Like if this guy's making all this money on the internet, surely I could have a crack at this, right? So I was watching the presentation. I really took to Andrew and Daryl. They seem very, very sincere, and I thought that, look, perfect. This will be, these are people that I really feel comfortable that they could guide me a little bit on my journey. So I immediately signed up for Andrew and Daryl, started walking through the, set up some ebooks and sort of got some online lead generation going on, follow the whole, the formula with Google AdWords and whatnot and click-through rates. So got that going, and all of a sudden I got a little bit of momentum. And again, just keep in mind where I'm at. I've got a $97,000 line of credit. I've got a $3,500 mortgage payment coming. So in other words, I've got 30 days to get my act together, and there's no more time for mucking about. And again, I'd like to say there's a little bit of exaggerating in there, but I can assure you this was a reasonably compromising time emotionally. So boom. So I just got to work, got it happening. And lo and behold, the whole thing started to work. I really couldn't believe it. I was in touch with Andrew and Daryl, trying to get my whole system going. And there is just no doubt. All of a sudden, I started chipping away. And then I decided, so that the ebooks were okay. But then I thought, okay, well, this is, money to, basically, buy lunch once in a while. But this wasn't going to, I didn't feel like this was going to get me back to seven figures and get me into the space that I really wanted to be. Although if I would have pursued it, and definitely that was going to be possible, but I felt like that didn't really, I don't know, I wasn't selling into my wheelhouse. Business consulting is sort of what I knew. So I figured if I tweaked that ever so slightly and I move in a more, a better direction that was suitable to me and my personality and my experience, I would have more success. So I understood business consulting. So what I did is I built an online business school. So as I had a few ebooks and whatnot chucking along, I built this online business school behind the scenes, and not a word of exaggeration. On my first day, I did a little bit of a launch, and in fairness, I had, a little bit of experience with, launches and selling product. I sold $10,000 in my first day, right? And I was like, all my Christmases came at once, and I all of a sudden emotionally felt like, you know what? I'm on my way, right? Like, I'm going to be able to work this whole internet thing out, and I'm going to be able to follow Andrew and Daryl and get this thing rocking. So boom. So I built this online business school. The next thing you know that I had probably more emails than I could possibly handle. And then on that note, what I might do is, Andrew, does it make sense if I share my screen with you guys? Okay, cool. So I got my ducks in a row, had a little bit of success. I got the thing up and going, and then I went, okay, beauty. Like this little sucker's in my wheelhouse. And again, through the formulas that I'd learned, a little bit about driving traffic, about internet marketing, again, just sitting in the same seats that you guys are sitting on now. And instead of sitting there, I was basically watching them virtually because I had a ton of video and I was able to sit in my office and watch these presentations over and over and over again. I started following this formula, and this is effectively what I ended up building. And this has been a whole lot of work over the last couple of years to get it. But basically, this is my online business school where I'll take people to this website and then drive them to a guided tour. I give them a little bit of a test drive. So can you see now dashboard, Andrew?
Yeah, we've got dashboard now. Yep.
Yep. Okay, you see my smiley face? And also, actually, the other thing I didn't mention that when Andrew and Daryl, when I saw them on the presentation, one of the first things they did is they described themselves as a technophobe, right? And I went, oh, perfect. Okay, well, I'm a technophobe, so I'm going to fit in with these guys, you little beauty. Well, that would be understatement. And I actually just got Skype going about an hour and a half ago, and I had my friend sort of walking it through. And I say this because I'm sitting here looking at my photo now. And he said, it looks good. But he goes, Karl, your nose looks a little bit bigger than it normally does. He goes, can you turn a little bit to the right? I'm like, geez, dude, come on, man. I got these people watching me. I can't. My face is pointing. But as I sit here and look at my beautiful picture, I got a nice nose for radio, as you can see. But the bottom line is, this is the online business school. So this is the sucker that we built. And this is what it effectively looks like. So we've got this step-by-step instruction that will take a small business owner through. And then if you go in, we've got a weekly e-learning system. So it's a full-blown curriculum. So what we'll do is we'll go partner with different people going business to business. I'll call it accountants and bookkeepers and networking organizations. Or say you guys are in Brisbane, you'd go find a yoga instructor. So the yoga instructor is teaching people how to become yoga instructors. Mm-hmm. Well, really what they're doing is they're starting a business. So what she can do is her apples against oranges value proposition. Instead of just teaching them yoga, she says, well, look, The issue you're going to have is 3 days after graduating, you're going to work out that teaching yoga is going to be 100 times easier than trying to fill your yoga class every week. So what we do is we're going to, like the competition, we teach you how to become a yoga instructor, but now we're going to plug you into this system with this good-looking guy named Karl, okay? And what he's going to do is for the next 12 months provide you value and support and step-by-step business instruction on how to get your business from A to Z and how to fill up your yoga school. So all of a sudden, she's got a far more powerful value proposition, and more to the point, we've got a joint venture in place that's driving customers to the website. So in each of the e-lessons, so we drive this out to them on a weekly basis, and some people want to listen, so we've got audio, and then some people want to watch, so I've got a video, and then some people want to read, so we've got an e-class. I'm trying to download my workbook here. Like I said, I'm a technophobe. Did I mention that? So there's a downloadable workbook, and there you go. So there's a downloadable workbook as well, which is effectively, if somebody wants to read through, they don't even need to watch the video. They can almost have a look at this workbook to be able to walk themselves through. So the nuts and bolts of it, that's the system that we built, and that's effectively what it looks like. So again, through the grace and good luck of running into Andrew and Daryl, like I said, went through reasonably compromising time and got our ducks in a row, put the wheels in motion to sort of get some income online. And as I said, we had a little bit of success early on. Like we did $10,000 in, when I launched it, which again was way beyond my expectations and my probably wildest dreams at that particular stage, to be honest with you, the state of mind I was in. But then really now, so now we're officially like we do 86, like over the last 12 months, we've averaged $86,000. So basically, if you work it out, $83,333 will get you to seven figures. So we are doing in excess of seven figures with this program.
So that's really good.
Well, that's the way it looks. As I mentioned, I'm worried to inspiring, probably not what I've managed to pull off. But in terms of, the inspired one is probably the one you guys are listening to right now. Like I said, because Andrew and Daryl got me, I dusted myself off after watching them and seeing their presentation. And I really just want to throw a sincere thank you out there to Andrew and Daryl for helping me out. And I can only hope for you guys that they can provide as much inspiration, direction, and I guess confidence. I felt like they believed in me before I believed in myself online, I guess you could say. And I can only hope that they can do that for you guys, because I encourage you guys to watch. It can absolutely happen. As you guys sit in those chairs and think about the seven-figure online businesses and very legitimately building something special you can be very proud of on the internet, if you put your mind and you dust yourself off and get working every morning bright and early, it's not going to be easy, but you do it, you can absolutely pull it off. Fantastic. So that's it. So what do you think, Andrew? Is there anything else?
Yeah, just fantastic, Karl. Appreciate you sharing that. That's really exciting for us to hear. So what I was going to say to you is, how many times have we actually sat down face to face, talking and discussing your business, and and how many seminars of ours have you actually come and attended to get your $1 million business going?
Not one yet.
Okay. So we
haven't. It's all virtually, folks.
So we actually haven't met yet, have we?
No, we haven't met.
No. So you've been doing all this remotely, just taking the stuff out of our internet secrets and making this all work for yourself.
Literally sitting here doing exactly what I'm staring at my computer now. Literally staring at my computer, watching your guys' presentations. Just to be very clear to everybody in the audience. I mean, we're not talking about. I didn't watch this stuff once. I have studied this man, and I have studied your guys' processes, and it's not always about what you guys are talking about, but it's the underlying theme and whatnot. So yeah, I have done this all virtually. I've done it with my computer screen, and although it's been some work, but it's worked. It's worked.
Cool. So just give us a little bit of what's the mindset like for you now from where you were? Was it 12 months ago now, or 18 months ago when we first started talking?
Yes. It's like I said, with fear of trying to fall into the all of a sudden going from telling you that there's no way of inspiring anybody to trying to inspire somebody. Like I legitimately, man, I'm telling you, I sat there and if I wasn't in I was as good as in a padded room, right, with my black shades on, not wanting to answer the phone, not wanting to talk to anybody. I really went through a tough time. Like I said, literally, I mean, I was on the cusp of bankruptcy. There's just no two ways about it. And previous to that, again, I'd done very well financially, right? So again, as you know, it's, if you've always been in rough times financially, it's one of those things where you just sort of fight through it, right? If you've been very reasonably well off and felt comfortable financially, and then you have it all taken away, that's a reasonably substantial emotional drop, I guess, if I'm wording that correct, well. So I was in a rough spot, mate. I'm going to tell you flat out. Like, I was in a rough spot
at the moment? How's life different for you?
Oh, we're killing it, mate. We're killing it. We're doing 7 figures, financially free, not an issue. I just bought my wife a Jag, and life is good, bud. Life is good.
Can I marry you or what?
Well, she's away, man.
Any takers in the room? Okay, cool. No, that's great. Listen, mate, just appreciate you hanging up late, hanging around and wanting to do this for us. I'm thinking everybody in the room's gotten something out of it. Is that right? Yeah. So everybody put your hands together for Karl, everybody. Yay!
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. My honor.
I'm not sure if you can hear that, but everybody was clapping and they really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I heard it. Yeah, and I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Okay, we'll let you get some sleep now or some nightclubbing, whatever takes your fancy.
Okay.
Once again, well done. And
thanks so much.
We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.